decision-making lay not in the emperor, wherein real power and authority actually resided, but in his cabinet, composed of ministers who were supposed to be collectively responsible for the advice that they gave the emperor, but in reality were not. By contrast to this extremely convoluted, dysfunctional pre-surrender system, the 1946 Constitution of Japan redefined the Japanese people as citizens, rather than eternally loyal subjects. Though not without its flaws, it at least upheld the values of democracy and peace. The Constitution's greatest merit was to have renounced war totally, without reservation, in keeping with public opinion at the time it was adopted. It also strengthened the position of the Prime Minister, stipulated that he and other ministers of state must be civilians, guaranteed civil liberties, and enfranchised women. Each constitution had profound consequences for Japanese political development, and Hirohito occupied the throne under both of them. Japanese imperialism and war, unfolding concurrently, in competition with American imperialism in the same regions of the world, is the fourth principal theme. Emperor Meiji's policy of alignment with Britain and the United States set the stage for the overseas colonial expansion that followed. Expansion was rooted in realpolitik concerns, but also occasioned domestic class struggle. In both late modernizing, capital and resource-poor Japan, as well as in heavily industrialized, capital-exporting America, imperialism generated grassroots dissent and strengthened the propensity of ruling elites to suppress dissident voices. Hirohito broke completely with Meiji's alignment policy when he sanctioned preparations for the destruction of Anglo-American military power in Asia. But at all times, Japan's expansion was rooted in realpolitik concerns. The fifth theme concerns the entanglement of politics and myth. Hirohito was indoctrinated in the same foundation myths as his subjects. The notion that he was a living god, the descendant in a bloodline of succession from the sun goddess, who was the mythical progenitor of his imperial house, was put forth in the nation's primary and military schools. So too was the idea of the unity of politics and religion. Up until the end of Hirohito's apprenticeship as regent for his ailing father, and perhaps beyond, he carried these received teachings within himself. Several key events, foreign and domestic, marked Japan's road to Pearl Harbor and its ultimate military defeat without state collapse. Along the way, Hirohito performed as an active, dynamic, interventionist ruler intent on playing his part in policy-making, and he and his court entourage applied his power in different ways. During the first 2 decades of his reign, 1925 to 1945, their actions led repressive responses to dissent at home and to rising nationalism abroad. Eventually, they led to the loss of millions of lives and unprecedented disaster for the Japanese people and those of the countries they invaded. Furthermore, while Hirohito operated within a decision-making system premised on the myth of his divinity, he was too skeptical to believe fully in this self-serving myth. Yet he felt it was quite appropriate for his subjects to believe in it and to be duped, for it helped him to control them. On the other hand, although the emperor was more akin to an absolute rather than a constitutional monarch, he was not by nature a combative man, eager to start wars. Neither was he a dictator or a Western-style wielder of despotic power like Hitler or Mussolini. Hirohito operated within a bureaucratic monarchy protected by his Meiji constitution and advised by his palace entourage or court group. Not until the late 1930s did Hirohito become a real war leader, actually exercising his constitutional prerogatives